New York and on the new Hot 97 app. Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
Ebro in the morning, Laura Styles, Rosenberg, give it up for music supervisor, Swizz Beatz, new EPIX drama, Godfather of Harlem, premieres September 29th.
Supervisor time?
What is this now? Music supervisor.
Oh, man, it's a road that I always ran from.
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
So these offers have been coming in for a while.
Yeah, definitely.
To do stuff like this.
Definitely.
So why this one? Why'd you choose this one?
As far as Whitaker called, it's a big difference.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great cast. Forrest Whitaker, and we got Chris Brancato, who wrote Narcos, the same writer for this.
Okay.
EPIX.
I fucked with Narcos.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, this is the premiere is jumping off tonight.
Oh, it's tonight.
Yeah.
And where are we watching this?
No, the premiere.
Oh, premiere party.
The premiere
Chill,
event.
Rosenberg.
Yeah, the event.
We were on
Yeah.
You're gonna have to wait.
the actual show, September 29th.
Yes.
Well, not to get inside business here, but I swear I received an invite also to something of your wife's tonight as well.
Yeah, it's a conflict of interest.
This is a busy
I
family
know.
night.
I got that invite too, and I was very excited
You should
about
go to
it.
that.
Yeah, so hold on.
Yeah.
So you guys both have major events tonight.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a good time.
Alicia got a new record.
Yep.
He got a new TV show.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this new house.
Why?
Yo, it's the Tony Stark's house from the movie.
Yeah. It's bugging.
Is it? It's crazy. What did you guys just decide?
Look, okay, if he doesn't even want to
Look,
talk
nobody
about
would have
it.
known if you wasn't on the gram with with Hov celebrating your birthday, and Hov is like, look out the window, and
But
his
wait,
hands is
Because I read
palatial.
somewhere that
I
this has
didn't have
been your
the
dream
camera.
house forever, and that you even had it like as a screensaver.
Yes, when your screensaver come to life, it's bucket list. I never thought that it would. Well, I knew it was gonna happen, but I didn't think it was gonna happen like so soon.
It just hit me what this is. This house, while he loves the house, this is a piece of art. The
Facts.
house is an art piece.
Definitely,
So this house is a part of the Dean collection.
100%. This guy is smart.
Yo, so it's not just a house. This is like,
No, it's a sculpture.
yeah.
Yeah,
And people want to come see the house. It's a popular.
people flew in.
People flew in to see it. So how long have you had your eye on it?
8 years.
And why was the time right now? Was it just it went on the market or?
Man, it just happened. Just the real estate person that was representing me in L.A. Posted it as an inspiration, and then I wrote him. I was like, "Yo," because I was bugging that he even knew about the house. And I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna get this. That's my house. I'm gonna get that house one day." And he's like, "Yeah, everybody says that." I said, "No, I'm serious. I might not get it now, but I'm getting that house." He showed me the text on closing. It started like that, and then I just happened to be going to L.A. that day when that happened. No. We have that conversation. He called me back 4 months later. Guess what? I'm like, what? What's up? He's like, I got to listen to Razor. I'm like, nah. I happen to be going to L.A. that day.
That's why Hov was calling you Razor.
Yeah, young Razor. I'm sharp right now. I got my suit on.
Yeah, but the house is Razor too.
Yeah. Man, and it just started manifesting itself after that point. Went out there, seen it for fun, and then fun became like very real.
But was it? But it was owned by someone when you saw it,
Yeah.
and you just started a conversation of just like, hey, will you come off this house?
No, I never met the owner.
Come off this house.
No, I never.
What size that house?
Yo, I like your house.
That's
B.
my size.
Check that house in.
No,
Oh my God, it's
it was for sale, and actually caught it before it went to market. Because you didn't, you don't sell the Razor house, by the way.
So wow, that's so cool, man. Congrats. You must be so psyched about it. Are you gonna spend a lot of time in it? Are you planning on being there a lot?
Inshallah, God willing.
So
So now, Eddie Murphy's house, Tony Stark's house, for the
Lenny Kravitz.
Lenny. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I forgot about the Lenny Kravitz, but that was a condo, or is that
Yeah,
what the house?
that was a penthouse in the city.
That was a penthouse in the city that he had, one of his original
That one was-
Superfly joints.
That one was fire.
So now here's my question for the people watching, because I think you're someone who not only still educates themselves at Harvard Business School, but for people watching, to even wrap their brain around how over time you got to this level of not only collecting art, but collecting real estate as art as well. It's not just as simple as work hard and be patient, right? It's also about money management.
It's about all of those things, but it's also about taking the risk.
Okay.
Right? Like a lot of things that I've done, you know, with even in the art industry, just as far as like how I invested, when I invested. Like when I started investing in African American artists, you know, as a unit, like buying like everything that was coming around. Nobody was on it like that.
Right.
So the market could have not had happened. It just happened to happen.
Right.
But I felt that it was going to happen. So that's the rewards of that comes like tenfold rather than letting the artist be hot already, and then now you're buying that painting because that person's already hot. So your entry point is way higher, and your satisfaction is small as far as in terms of investment. But if you're buying in and you're taking the risk, you get in on the low level, so you get to take the whole ride.
What's the man you introduced me to at the studio? He's the one that went on to do Michelle and Barack's.
Oh, Kahinde.
Kahinde.
Yeah, Kahinde. Shout out to Kahinde Wiley, one of the first believers in the Dean collection. When everybody told him don't be in no commissions, because he was such a, you know, certified artist.
Right.
He still did it.
Really? So people were really kind of stepping on what you were trying to bring with the no commission.
They were scared. You know, there's no commissions, right? You can't mention art and no commissions on the galleries. That's how they make their business. But I wasn't focusing on the galleries. I was focusing on the artists and celebrating the artists. I don't own a gallery. I'm not a broker. I'm not any of those things. I'm just a patron for the arts. And so, you know, I'm like, why should I charge the artists commissions when I'm just celebrating them?
Right, which is a big deal to a lot of artists. I know when I've spoken to them, it's incredible. And you're also using your platform to introduce art to so many kids who are not exposed to it.
Definitely.
Which is a big plus.
Yeah, the entry point has been amazing. You know, 70% of the people that come to no commissions are new buyers. So that means that it's a whole new entry point, the youth. You know, the conversation now is more about art than music. That's why I got to catch it with the music.
Well,
now.
no commission, the first one, I think it was the first one you had in the Bronx, in the South Bronx.
No, that was the second one.
The second one.
Yeah.
That was where I even learned about the whole, I guess for lack of a better term, problem with artists and the where do they sell out of? The
auction houses.
The auction houses and these places that make tons of money off the artists, and the artists never see that money.
Definitely. Yeah, so we have something to counter that. It's called the Dean's Choice. And, you know, we're partnering up with the auction houses because I feel that it's up to the collector to support the artist. The auction house is the trading post. Like, if you pawn something, you're taking your money from the pawn shop. You're not caring where, how, when, and where. That's the trading post.
That's just the
But
middleman.
the person that brought the goods to the pawn shop should be responsible for that, right? Like, so, like, if I have the Kahinde Wiley and I paid, you know, X, Y, you know, $10,000 for it, and then that auction is selling for $500,000, and Kahinde's living, and I'm not giving him a piece, that would feel crazy. Mm-hmm. And so the Dean's Choice, it's your choice to give the artist a percentage, 5% or up, whatever you want to do. It's your choice, but at least it starts the conversation. Like, it's not the big celebration yet, but it's the entry point to a conversation that they haven't been able to push in America since it started, right? In Europe, they do this, right? It's just, you know, we're a little more greedy.
But it's also a similar thing
That's for sure.
taking place in the music world where the creators are able to take more control over how their music is delivered, getting rates from the streaming services, doing their own different revenue streams and building. We're seeing a lot more of that in hip hop and other forms of music too, by having more of an independent perspective.
I agree, but I still think we all got, it's a lot of work to be done, right? Because just because it's a new technology or it's a new, it feels like a new freedom. You know, what are the bottom lines are?
Right.
You know, what are really the numbers? You know, when you look at streams, which is amazing for, you know, for this generation of music and the forward movement of music, but like, let's really dissect, I still think the artists are getting
jerked
90% less than what they're supposed to.
Yeah, well, you're an odd duck because you're actually generous. You take care of the people who work with you, and producers you work with when you co-produce. Like you're sort of the exception more so than the rule. Speaking of music and producing people, I'm hearing that DMX has a lot of momentum right now, and we are very close to a real DMX.
You just saw his So Brooklyn freestyle on the internet. Him and Casanova. He got busy the other day.
I saw
he was active.
I saw it was out there, but yeah. So how close are we to like this thing really happening?
Very close because it's what he wanted to do. All these other times, everybody been wanting him to have a record, but he hasn't been in that zone. So my thing is like, he's in that zone, so let's go, right? And when X is in the zone, like greatness happens, and like a lot of those times, like he was battling with other things, So this is the most clearest that I've seen him in a long time. He's focused. He's showing up. Like you could tell from the verse.
Yeah.
You could see the energy. Like it's not, it's not the play around X where you like, damn, I wish he didn't record this, right? Because I was tired of seeing those videos and I was tired of seeing those photos. So to see him cleaned up, we just shot the video for Just In Case. Me, him, Ross.
Mm-hmm.
He looks very good in that. Like it's gonna.
Good to hear.
Yeah, he looks very good in that video. Suited up like me right now.
Really?
Yeah. X had shoes on in the joint.
Let me ask you. You periodically have you jumped out, had a great song with Wayne. You're on the Ross album. The gigs. You put out a record with. Here and there, you're doing certain things.
Common, Nas.
Common, Hercules, right?
Yeah, Nas joints.
Nas joints fire.
I'm just having fun.
So if it's fun, it makes sense. It feels.
Yeah, but there's you got to keep doing the music. You got to keep doing the music. Like all these other things that I'm doing are super fun, but one thing that I know is that you got to stay with the music. Like the thing that got me here, I just can't leave it in the background. The only thing is different is I'm not really thinking, oh, that's what we doing. You know who this is?
Nope.
This is crazy.
Well, bring him in. Give him a microphone. Pull up a chair.
He need to sit in my chair. Come on, Chris. This is Chris Brancato. Like this is the creator of Narcos.
Oh, this is the guy.
This is the guy.
Oh, give him a chair.
And
You gonna have to come out there.
I'm trying to tell you.
Hold up. You can sit right here. Sit right here. Smoke and sit on the stool.
This guy.
So,
I mean,
how you doing? Hey, bro, nice to meet you. My pleasure. So you're the brain behind Narcos.
Well, I'm.
He's a brain.
I'm a brain who.
A brain.
A brain.
I co-created Narcos and then came on here to do.
Step to the microphone a little closer.
I came and did Godfather of Harlem after Narcos, and Swizz and I met through this process of creating music for the show, specifically for the show, and it's been an amazing journey.
Super journey.
I'm gonna say this: after I finished the first season of Narcos, I wasn't sure how it would be received. And after I finished the first season of Godfather, if I put the two side by side, I gotta say we got something special.
Stands up.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Stands up.
So you worked on all of the Narcos or just the first?
No, I worked on the Escobar portion.
The Escobar.
And then I left to go do other things, and that was Godfather.
Got it.
So musically for the project, seeing as this is a period piece, you're talking about Harlem in the 50s, 60s, 60s. Where musically, Swizz, where do you go? What's the direction that you go with that?
I just wanted to challenge the narrative, although it's set in time. It was like, how can you mix timelessness with today, and and just using different elements that fit the same, but we wasn't trying to be too cool. When you producing, got a couple of examples out there. I'm not going to say names. But when you went to go see something that had a great title and it's just too cool.
Right.
They're trying too hard.
They trying too hard. Like for this, I wasn't even trying to make hits. I was just trying to make songs that fit the element of the show. And then working with people that their tone, their energy, everything that it works with the show. And these are a lot of artists that I haven't even worked with before. So that's what I loved about the project, was I had an excuse to go work with certain artists that, like Jay Denner, Buddy, you know, Ferg, Emily Sandé from the UK. You know, just so many, not the everyday names that you would hear attached to a movie, that a show that's so big as this, but really challenging.
And what is this specifically covering? Godfather of Harlem.
Godfather of Harlem is about the collision of crime and civil rights in early 60s Harlem, seen through the relationship between Bumpy Johnson and Malcolm X, who were friends. So we're watching as social change is happening in this country, and at the same time, there's a link between the movement of the civil rights movement and gangsters. Malcolm himself said, when the gangster becomes political, the white man will tremble. And that's the basis of the show. Swizz is being typically modest about his participation.
He tries to downplay everything, doesn't he?
Because we had a very ambitious musical game plan that when you hear music out of a radio on the show, you're hearing 1963 songs, you know, to the T. But we segue during certain segments into contemporary. But we didn't just grab hip-hop that was already produced and just glom it on the show. We didn't want to do that. We wanted bespoke music that Swizz was creating based on the show itself. So he would show artists portions of the show. We would select spots in the episodes where we could have music, and he created music specifically for those spots in the show. So it's very rare that you have a soundtrack album for a television show. But I saw this man put it together in you know, a writing camp that was 2 weeks of just feverish creative effort.
Partying every night. He was partying.
You was back in your old zone.
Yeah, he was partying with me 6 in the morning. Just creating that energy, because, you know, especially that energy comes off when you're watching the show. It's like, how do you bring that energy sonically to the visual? And having those writing rooms and having pieces of the show playing. So, you know, when Ross or whoever came in, they was able to pull certain things that they was watching and actually put it into effect in their verses, rather than kind of dreaming up something that you think you should say. Everybody kind of knew what they were supposed to say.
You know, I'd love to hear more from you on doing, now it's become, and I like it, doing a episodic show, you know, 10 episodes, whatever it is, 12 episodes, on a specific time period, right? It's dramatized, of course, for entertainment, but it feels like this is really becoming a thing now, right? Like, more so than just putting out a film.
Oh, yeah.
Way more.
Well, this gives us a chance. The first season of the show is 1963. The second season will be 1964. We're going to watch the progression of these characters through time. Malcolm, of course, is assassinated in 65, but each season will cover a particular year, the events that were going on, the stuff that was going on in the streets in Harlem, and the music reflects that. So you're going to see the music on the show change from the first year to, you know, you've got influences coming in, Motown and doo-wop, and you've got a musical palette
Funk,
that changes,
even, yeah, James, all that, yeah.
as the country gets on fire. So it's
Talk to us about the research that goes into it when you're trying to create this look and this sound. Like, who do you interview? Because I'm sure you have to dig deeper than the actual, like, history that's already been documented.
Well, we went up to Harlem and interviewed these cats who were 80, 85 years old who ran with Bumpy. So we were able to get first-person, you know, stories about Bumpy's. There's very little written about Bumpy Johnson. There's a lot written about Malcolm X and Adam Clayton Powell Jr., who's played by Giancarlo Esposito. So I was able to research.
Had to get somebody light-skinned with some good hair for that Adam Clayton Powell, right? real light-skinned, good hair.
Giancarlo killed it.
Yeah.
Killed that character. And the Malcolm X. I thought it was Malcolm.
Who plays Malcolm?
An actor named Nigel Thatch, who played Malcolm in Selma, and this brother hit it to a T. I mean, wait till you see this. Wait till you see this performance. He killed it. We have incredible actors. Vincent D'Onofrio is playing Vincent Chin Gigante, the Italian mobster, because the show's also about the fight between Bumpy Johnson and his crew and the Italians who were still in East Harlem, and they were controlling the dope trade.
Right.
And so Bumpy gets out of Alcatraz in 63, comes back, and he sees his territory's been taken, and he's going to get it back.
I needed a new show.
Yeah.
Right?
By the way,
I needed a new show.
so this show
You got one.
This show is on.
It's on EPIX.
It's on EPIX.
EPIX. It's a streaming service, and you can order it off your cable box. But it starts September 29th, and
But they got the app moving too, right? They
Yeah,
got the
they got
app.
the- yeah, they
Yeah,
got
get
the
the app.
Yeah, we lit.
But I'm guessing this is a pretty big investment and opportunity for EPIX because it sounds like an awesome show. Every one of those services needs their show. That's the calling card, right?
Yes.
That's the reason 50 got people to go to Stars after all those years to watch Power, right? Everyone needs that thing.
yeah, we're hoping
That's what the hope is,
yeah,
right? Well, good luck. It sounds amazing. I'm one over right now.
It's happening.
It's going down.
Yeah, the hope is there.
Listen,
And you've already locked in for multiple seasons, it sounds like. You're telling us, you just told us, I don't know if you meant to, but let me just bring it back for anybody who missed it. You're giving us at least 2 or 3 years.
Well, let's put it this way. I'm very optimistic there'll be multiple seasons of the show. So,
Got it.
yeah.
I love it.
well, listen, Swizz just bought Iron Man's house. You know it has to do good now. So
Yeah.
I was just
You were
there
at
this
Iron Man's
weekend.
house?
Yeah, trust
Yo,
me.
how crazy is it?
It's like no house I've ever seen in my whole life. And I've been to plenty of nice houses in California and in New York. This thing is so dope. Every hour, because of the way the sun moves, the light reflects on the water in a different way. Every wall in the house is 30 feet glass. You can see everything, but every room is molded into its own separate space, which is peaceful and spiritual, and the textures of the wood and the
Yo, you gonna
angles and the
Airbnb this
lines.
joint? Let me
Yo, how much
get a
Airbnb?
weekend, son. Yo, let me get a weekend, son. Yo, can we, Ebro in the morning live broadcast from Swizz.
we can do that.
Whoa.
Yo, come on, son.
Zone.
Yo, zone.
Zone.
Listen,
Showtime.
I'm only 50% of this thing.
Yo, AK, come on,
I've been
man.
hold on now.
Alicia, come on.
Hold on. So you're saying that if Alicia says yes, you'll roll with it?
Yeah.
Yo, and then the soundtrack to the show is the soundtrack from The Godfather of Harlem playing in the background. Then we go into Alicia's new single. Boom.
I see what you're doing, Ebro. I like it.
You gotta
I
shout,
like
you
it.
gotta
I
shout.
like it.
Ebro's
Play
the
some
There's
music.
mastermind.
incentives here.
Ebro's the mastermind. Do it
Yo-
from the beach.
Yo, Godfather of Harlem, man. Go look for it. September 29th on EPIX. You can download the app. You can get on your cable. It was a pleasure meeting you, man.
Thank you very
I
much.
didn't. Wow.
Yeah, I really saw the surprise.
This is not.
Well, you don't do a lot of interviews.
No, they don't want to talk to the writer producer. They want to talk to Swizz and Forrest.
That's
My-
why he
my
coming
man-
and bust
my man.
in this joint like that.
Yeah, so he got gangster. He was like, I'm coming in. Get
Chris is
right.
gangster.
Chris, where are you from?
I'm from Teaneck, New
Teaneck,
Jersey.
okay.
Oh, okay. So you're from the area. Now, do you still live in the area?
I have a place in New York, but I live in Los Angeles too.
Do you got like multiple houses like Swizz? You got like all that?
Not like his house.
No, I got a house the size of Swizz's bathroom in the Razor house. It's,
Stop, man. This guy wrote Narcos, okay?
Yeah, I know, exactly.
You got Pablo's house.
Yo, give it up one
Thank you,
time,
guys.
man. Swizz Beatz, Godfather of Harlem. Go look for it, man.